So we're like 2 weeks off from side order. With that happening, I made a list of the things I'm expecting slash hoping for with it. So here it is. First off, so I mentioned this in my last video. It's cool that Nintendo's trying something new, but this is Splatoon 3, so it's very possible Nintendo could Splatoon 3 this whole thing up and completely fumble making side order a roguelike. Maybe they make all the challenges suck or something. Maybe there's no real good reward for replaying old missions. There's a whole ton of ways Nintendo could fumble making this a new thing. And I'm just really hoping they don't do that, because if they end up messing up the entire genre they're trying to emulate, I think I'm gonna introduce my forehead to a brick wall. Second, look, Splatoon campaigns have always been fun. You're never gonna have a bad time playing through one, but this is the 5th campaign now. I am really desperate at this point for Nintendo to actually incorporate even just a tiny bit of all the lore that this game has into its story. Obviously, I think we know Nintendo never really emphasizes story over gameplay, and I'm not even asking or hoping they do that. I would just love to see a smidge more effort put into like actually putting all of the lore they have that we see through like interviews and stuff into the actual game, because we've gotten stuff like something as cool as like the deep sea rave, yet we will never see something that cool in game. Third, look man, I'm tired of it. The deep cut bosses were not unique. I mean, like, they all had different gimmicks, but it didn't feel unique. The only thing that kind of felt special was Big Man's fight, and that fight was only special because they ripped it from Mario Sunshine. Octo Expansion's bosses were literally just ripped Hero Mode 2 bosses. We haven't really had a unique boss fight that wasn't a final boss since like 2017 with Splatoon 2's Hero Mode. And even with that, while 2's bosses looked and felt different from each other, they were still all like following the idea of doing the same thing, but every phase making it a tiny bit harder. I'm all for throwing Octo Stomp in for another silly goofball moment, but please, we really need something that doesn't feel like more of the same thing again. 4, look, we all know it's gonna happen. I don't think it's super spoilery to say that the square is gonna come back. Just please, for the love of God, Nintendo, and I am begging, do not fumble bringing the square back. I mean, it's one little strip of land. It honestly cannot be that hard to do right. Yet they still managed to fumble the bag with the plaza, and all it would take to make the square peak is literally just bringing back Squidby. Just port back the square in its original form. It's not nearly as hard as bringing back the plaza was. 5, maybe this is just a personal thing, but I would rather see Nintendo do a super hard secret boss again over a secret level. I think it's just more of an iconic thing to do. We all remember the horrors of beating Inner Agent 3, but to me, the secret level of Splatoon 3 just really didn't feel nearly as memorable. I don't even remember what the level was called, if I'm being honest. Secret bosses are just cooler than more like drawn out levels. Like, the secret level just felt like it kept going on, and I didn't even remember that the Octoling battle was a part of the level until writing this. Yeah, I remember that being my favorite part of the level. I literally could not remember for over a year what my favorite part of that level was. A secret boss fight would just be so much better. 6th, I don't think there's a character more anticipated to enter the story besides Deadfish. I don't know why the community has such an infatuation with her, but they do. I mean, like, there's a lot of cool stuff they can do with her. I also know that if Nintendo doesn't do anything cool with her, or they disrespect the character in any way, shape, or form, people are going to be pissed. I swear, if they take some, like, hidden villain approach with her, I'd probably be pissed too. It'd be so easy to just go with the, like, slightly hidden trauma approach with her, considering she's, like, half sanitized. Just please don't break the cool green Octoling. We won't be able to find a new one. For 7, there are a lot of rumors and speculation that Agent 4 is going to be involved in side order somehow, especially since they're like the only main character who hasn't been involved in the story in a while. Now, me personally, I think 4 is like the one character who deserves to be in the story, like even more than 8. I mean, like, it's kind of hard to flesh out a Splatoon character because there's like no story in these games, but from the like breadcrumbs we get, Agent 4 has gotten like none of them. We've seen Captain go from rookie to captain, a new Agent 3 take their place, 8's getting a second campaign, and what has 4 gotten? Absolutely nothing since 2017. Give my Pookie Agent 4 some love, Nintendo. And finally, look, this game's a lot more divisive than 2 was back when it was still getting updates. I think for the sake of the community, we need something we can all agree on, and what better to agree on than if Nintendo gave us a Splatoon campaign that's better than Octo, or better than Hero Mode 3, depending on what your favorite is. Personally, I prefer Octo. With some simple, like, connect the dots, it's easy to infer that Side Order's gotten more dev time than any Splatoon campaign before. I mean, we know it was being developed in some way before 3 even launched, even if it was just starting around the this time we knew that side order was going to involve off the hook, then that means side order's gotten about at least 17 months of development. Octo, I believe, got a little bit less time than that in the oven. Not totally sure though, but I think it did. I don't know about you, man, but I really would like to see Nintendo give us something this important that we can all agree hit every mark and doesn't leave us wishing they could have done more. So what I want more than anything with side order is, please, Nintendo, do not mess this one up. I cannot take any more Splatoon 3 fumbling. Okay, so that's a bit of my hopes and expectations for side order. Let me know what you think. Use those comments. That's what they're there for. Make sure to like and subscribe because I know where you live and I'll be paying you a visit if you don't. Alright, gamers, that is it from me. See ya.